Good morning, everybody. I'll get this set up so I can read your guys' comments. As people start coming on, go ahead and say hello. Okay. Hey, good morning, Michael. Good morning, Addison. Good morning, Trey. Can somebody just let me know if the volume is okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. One of my kids was playing with my phone last night, so I want to make sure that the volume is fine on here. Just let me know. Give me a thumb. Yes, no. Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to assume that that thumbs up was that the volume's fine. Okay. Well, good morning, guys. Good morning. I hope most everybody has their coffee this morning. Yeah. So, I'm going to just kind of jump right into it because it's 6:08. And this morning I was struggling, so quite literally I was sitting here, I was like holding my head, going, give me the message, give me the message, give me a title. And then I came up with pausing for greatness, and like, okay, pausing for greatness. What's I know what that sad face is about. That sad face is about lack of coffee in somebody's life. But now I was just like, you know, what is the title? And then pausing for greatness came through, and you know, I've done a lot of talking about belief and desire and consciousness, of course, and all these different things, and who knows where this is going. But as I was sitting here, I was up late last night writing down intentions and, you know, doing some journaling, really trying to tap in to my core, because it seems that 2018 is blessing me with a year of major transformation. And that's awesome, wonderful, beautiful. But at the same time, when we're transforming stuff, when we're moving through stuff, our egos really get a hold of us. And, you know, we have these earthly desires, we have these things that we want or that we think that we want. I had this, you know, idea of, oh, but I need to control this, I need to control that. And I found myself as I was journaling last night and writing down affirmations, and I'm actually going to go into a cord cutting, you know, just like a shifting energy and connections today. And as I was writing down my homework for that, which is really just to get clear as to what my intent is, to clear the energy that I am, you know, that in my connections. Of course, my intent is for the greatest and highest good for everybody involved. And that's all fine and dandy and very easy to say. But then the ego comes up, and the ego goes, yeah, but I want this. Yeah, but I want that. Yeah, but. And it's those yeah, buts that put that little drop of doubt in there as to just letting go and letting God. Good morning, Michael. And if we're going to let go and let God, which means that we're going to have faith and trust that everything is going to work out for our greatest and highest good, then we have to learn how to install what I call a pause button. And I know I've talked a little bit about the pause button here and there, but really, truly, it really is about just pausing for the moment, and allowing yourself to see, experience, witness the emotion that's going through you, the sensation that's going through you, maybe the tightness in your body, maybe the anxiety in your body, maybe the pain, maybe there's anger. Because here's the thing, when we're feeling joy, when we're feeling happiness, it's going to be elevated, it's going to be ecstatic and exciting, and we don't need to hit the pause button for that, because our natural state is that state. We get to taste it here and there. We all want more of that, right? But we spend so much of our time in this zone of restriction, and we restrict in so many different ways, but what it all basically leads down to is control. We restrict through control. So we're constantly trying to control the situation. We're constantly trying to control the outcome of the situation. And that's where we have to hit the pause button. Hit the pause button, and we're hitting the pause button so that we can actually experience greatness, because it's through our surrender that miracles really happen. But if we hit that pause button, what does that look like? You know, like, I can say that and everybody's probably going, okay, yeah, fine, what the fuck is she talking about? Like, what is the pause button? The pause button really is that I refer to it as having this witness status inside your head, inside your being, inside your consciousness, okay? Inside the head's the brain, inside your consciousness. So you have your consciousness, and that's that land where all these thoughts siphon through, and there's emotion there, and there's that probably that little chatter where you're having a conversation with yourself, you know, with God, whatever. You're working your problems out. There is this consciousness right there. So in that state of consciousness that you have, that we all have, you have to literally develop, which means apply attention to, the witness. The witness is that aspect of self that is allowed to just kind of sit on the sidelines and watches everything that's going on, you know, and just really starts to pay attention to everything that's going on. And as you're starting to pay attention to the banter in your head, the banter of emotion, the banter of stress in your body, the banter, the crazy monkey brain shit that goes on, where you have these words of I'm too much and I'm not enough all at the same time. There's this debate going on, this constant contradiction, this conversation of just, it's sheer craziness. It really is. That's why it's called the monkey brain, right? Because it's like, it's all over the place. It's hanging from everywhere. It's jumping everywhere. It's doing all these different things. It's total chaos. And the majority of us just allow that chaos to be. And what happens with the monkey mind is, if you allow that chaos to just be, and you don't develop the witness mentality, which is where the witness sitting there holding this great big pause button, then what you'll find is that this chatter that you get from the monkey mind is going to just kind of take over, and it will become reality. And then you live in anxiety and depression and frustration and overwhelm, in lack of connection, where you're just not going to know what move to make next. I know you're going to experience that here and there, no matter what, okay? There's going to be those moments. That was like me last night, trying to write out, like, what's my greatest and highest good, and I was just trying to like, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? And getting down to that, I had to deal with all of this, and it was just me trying to focus in on the intent, which my intents really are very, very simple, and not a whole lot. There's not very much. But if I had gotten lured off to the monkey mind, to all this bantering going on, and then what would have happened is I would have lost focus. Now, we're going to lose focus every now and then. Don't beat yourself up for losing focus. It's part of the human condition. But it's coming back to it. So when we pause for greatness, we have done our work to build a relationship with what I refer to as the witness, this witness aspect of ourself. And so we've built this relationship with the witness, which means we can tap into the witness status easily. We can just go, all right, I see all that craziness. I see all that craziness. I need to go to the witness. I just need to let it kind of just go. I'm going to just sit over here and I'm going to just witness everything that's going on. I'm going to just see it, but I'm not going to become part of it. So there's no intervening. There's no connecting to. As the witness, you're just watching your thoughts. You're watching your craziness. And the more you can watch your craziness, the more you can realize just how crazy it is. So instead of saying, oh, I'm just having a crazy moment, and actually then notice that, you're feeling anxiety in your chest, your stomach's kind of tight, your shoulders are tight, whatever's going on, you might say, oh, I'm just having a crazy moment. But did you step into the stream of crazy in your own being? Or are you sitting on the sideline of the stream and just watching it? The witness sits on the bank of the river and watches the river, and then chooses when to fish and when not to fish. What the majority of our patterns is to jump into the river, and we don't even realize that we've jumped into the river, but we find ourselves in the middle of the river, and we're basically getting washed over by it and drugged down by the current. And then we end up assuming that we know what's going on, assuming that we know how everybody else is feeling, assuming that we know what is best, assuming that we know what the outcome is, assuming. And we all know what that word means, right? When you assume, you make an ass out of you and you make an ass out of me, right? We're making an ass out of both. In this version, it is really, you're making an ass out of yourself because you're buying into the bullshit of your ego. You're buying into the bullshit of the chaos of that monkey mind chatter. So you've got to develop that relationship with your witness. And, like yesterday, everything that I've been talking about, all the practices, the journaling, the meditation, morning prayer, taking time for yourself to take a walk, turning off all the static noise around you and allowing yourself to be alone with you. You have to get comfortable with you so that you can actually witness when you're not in the witness position. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, that means that monkey chatter is owning you, okay? It owns you. You don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm speaking Japanese right now, and you just don't know what that is. That means that you are getting washed away with the river all the time. So because you can't even make that difference of what is you and what is not you. So this is really about, learning that first. Develop that relationship with witness, because when you're the witness, what you're doing is you're hitting the pause button with ego consistently. And when you hit that pause button with ego, you open up the opportunity for greatness. You open up the opportunity for blessing, for miracles, for whatever you want to say. But it is that the first step to this is that you have to build the relationship with your witness, which is your true consciousness, and just allowing yourself to just be able to sit in the presence of everything that's going on without attaching to it. Because the instant you attach to it, you jump in that river of chaos, and well, good luck to you. Good luck, because you might not come out of it for a couple hours, you might not come out of it for a couple weeks, a couple months, it might take years. I have this statement that I tell people all the time. I'm like, I can move through something in about 20 minutes that used to take me 2 years. And it's pretty accurate. And what I'm saying there is that thanks to developing the relationship with this witness aspect of self, you can move through things a lot easier, a lot quicker, and means that you're going to feel better quicker. So I always look back at this one time frame in my life when I spent 2 years in this deep, deep, like dark, nasty depression. And it was really, really bad. And it got to the point where I did not even want to wake up to take care of my children anymore. And, you know, I was done with life. And I know that God saved me for something, because there were so many moments that I could have been a news story. And it was not a good news story, because I really had been taken over by the river of chaos, and it had me in this land of depression and despair and overwhelm and not knowing what to do, and completely out of sorts. So that was like a 2-year time frame. I had a catalyst in my life come in and pull me out, and when with him, which was my high school boyfriend, actually, in connection, and he taught me in that moment. Number one, he smacked me around because he knew me so well. He told me exactly what I needed, which was the smack around, right? So he verbalized to me exactly what I needed. And then he told me about this practice, and he brought it back to what I've learned to call the witness status and the pause button. And he brought into my life this beautiful practice to teach me how to, and I don't know if he knew what he was doing. God sent him. I'm like, whatever, you're a messenger of God. And even then, my connection was that I knew that there was a sign there. And that right there, it took me about 4 years of practice time, 4 years of practice time of going once or twice a week to a study center to learn these practices. I fully submerged myself into practice mode, and that means like really learning the technology, as I refer to it, of developing this witness status and learning about the pause button. So through 4 years of hardcore beating it into me and getting tested, lots of testing, so that I had lots of actual real-time practice to learn about the witness and to learn about the pause button, I slowly built up this muscle, this consciousness, to be able to process what had sent me into a deep, nasty, dark depression of 2 years, where I was caught in that stream for 2 years consistently, to now I go, mommy needs a timeout, and I go and I process through something, and I allow myself to feel, but I know that I'm not going to jump in that stream. And when I do jump in the stream, I see myself jumping in that river of chaos. And as soon as and here's the pause button, okay? So as soon as you get to this state of where you've developed that relationship with witness, the next part of developing the pause button is to then have, because now that you have this relationship with witness, means that you've developed a stronger, more accurate consciousness, and you can witness, you can see, recognize, we use the word recognize, you can recognize when you've gotten into the river of chaos. So as soon as you recognize that you got into the river of chaos, then you just simply get out. You simply get out of the river of chaos. What the hell do I mean by that? You make the conscious decision to stop thinking the thoughts that you're thinking, because it's the thoughts that's the river, okay? So what you're going to find is that negative thoughts attract more negative thoughts, and they're going to magnetize to themselves more negative thoughts, which is where that river of chaos comes in and how it washes over you, because it gets so many thoughts attached to it that all of a sudden you're overwhelmed by negativity. All of a sudden you're overwhelmed by all of these things, these fears, these worries, these doubts, these concerns, this, and it feels like it's so much, because our reality, no matter what's going on out here in the physical world, our reality is formulated right here. It comes from here. So if we are in the river of chaos, then we're going to feel completely out of sorts, and our physical being and our real world scenarios will quite literally reflect what's going on in here. So if you've got a whole bunch of shit that's not going right, if you're getting hit by a whole bunch of different negative things, guess what? That says that your river of chaos is taking you over. You're not in the witness mode. You are getting washed over by the river of chaos. So get the fuck out of the river. Okay? Just get out of the river. But that means that you have had to build that relationship with witness well enough to be able to go, oh, I stepped in the river. I stepped in the river. So now that I recognize that I stepped in the river, I'm going to step out of the river. I'm going to make a conscious decision to choose again. Okay? And I use that statement a lot. Choose again. Well, here you go. Make the conscious decision to choose again. That's it. Just choose again. So, okay, I see that I've got all this chaos around me. Now I'm going to choose again. I'm going to choose love. I'm going to choose appreciation. I'm going to choose, focusing in on something else. If you cannot find a positive thought, such as I love my children, I'm happy that I have a job to go to, I can pay my bills, yay. The weather is changing, whatever you need to focus in on, then come back to just finding one focus point, something that's going to help you pull out of the river. So think of it like, since I use the river analogy, you're in the river, you're stuck by a current, okay? And there's some ivy or something that's growing there and you can't get out, but you can reach out to the ivy and you can start to pull yourself up and out of the river by grabbing a hold of these vines that you can help pull yourself out of the river on. The vines are just one focus point. Find that focus point. If it is your heartbeat, if it is the lyrics to a song, if it is some sort of mantra that will help, whatever that focus point is, find it, start getting very used to it, and then use that as your primary to get yourself out of the river until you can build up that connection to witness, to just quite literally hop out of the river, okay? And you'll get there. It just takes practice. I mean, I told you this. It took me 4 years of hardcore to build that connection. So once you get out of the river, once you've witnessed, once you've said, okay, I'm in the river, I'm going to get out of the river, and you get out of the river, now the witness and the pause button is just to, and here's the pause button, you sit down next to the river and you just watch it. You just watch it go by. You don't put your toe in there. You don't go, oh, is the water still cold? No. You sit down next to the river and you just watch it, which is why I call it the witness, because it's like you're just watching, as though your thoughts are going across on a big movie screen, like a movie, and you're just watching. We don't jump into the screen when we go to the movies. We don't interact with the movie. We might laugh at parts, we might cry at parts. We can feel aspects of the movie and allow it to move through us, but we don't get up on the screen, like hang off the screen and try to become part of the movie, because we know that it's the movie. It's not us. It's not ours, right? So that's what you're doing here with your thoughts. But you have to, first of all, get that relationship with witness. So you just watch. Then, every now and then, something comes through and you might want to attach to it. Now, if it's good or bad, I'm not going to go into that in this second. But if you attach to something, think of it kind of like you're casting out your fishing line right now, and you're attaching to that thought. Realize that that thought is going to take you, okay? So much like a fish who grabs a hold of the hook and starts to swim off, you see your line going out. You see it going out, and there goes the fish. Well, that means that your line is going with it. Be prepared that you're going to go with it, okay? So if it is good, more good will attract to it, as long as that is your focus. If it is negative, more bad, more negative it will attract to it, and then you're going to end up lost down the current again, down that river, and you're going to be that. So again, you have to have that focus point and get back out of this river. Installing the pause button is that as the water is hitting up against the shoreline and splashing on you, as it is tempting you to come in, because it might tempt you, right? Just like if you're sitting in the ocean, it's like, oh, maybe I should go out. Maybe I should go and wade in the water. Maybe I should go snorkeling. Maybe I should do, there's temptation. The ego will tempt us. It will tempt us to come into the river of chaos all the time. It will tempt us in ways that you never thought were possible. It'll tell us positive things to get us to get into the negative stream. And that's where you have to be really, really cautious, is because sometimes you might go, yeah, but I really need to, I really need to allow myself to explore this. I really need to allow myself to feel that. It's, I'm feeling connection here. Often, look at how those connectors are. If you find yourself all of a sudden feeling, in a conversation and caught up in the drama connection, or the connection of, I don't have a whole lot going on, or I'm sick, I got the flu bug. I use that since so many people have the flu bug. So a lot of the times we relate through our pain. We relate and we connect to others through pain, through different things like that, and it's bringing ourselves down. Those are all teasers to get us back into that river of chaos. So be cautious as to what teasers are coming at you and what you choose to interact with or not. When you hit the pause button, you're not interacting with anything. You're just kind of sitting there, like, Eckhart Tolle. He's a fantastic example of a pause button, because even when he goes and he does a talk, he sits there in total silence and he just goes, and he does that for like 5 minutes on the front side of a talk. And what he's doing is he's establishing connection to himself and to God in that moment, and he's getting that as the only connector. That's what the pause button does, is it connects us to us and to God. It gives us this place of stillness inside where we are connected to us. So to really have that right there, that's what you're looking at, okay? And that's where that pause button comes back, because ultimately, if you want to make the right choice for yourself and you want to know what is right and you don't want to feel all this negativity, you have to come back to connecting to self, connecting to God, getting it. Don't look at outside sources for your fulfillment, because all your fulfillment is internal. And if you're really, really lost and needing guidance, you cannot inquire outside yourself, and unless you're actually trying to tap in on the inside. And if you are inquiring outside yourself, make sure that you're casting your line to only certain things, and realize that even the positive sometimes can get you lost in the stream of chaos. Because if you're here not strong enough, positive things are going to bring in negative stuff, because you're uncertain, you're unclear, you're not connected. So get that connection. But sometimes, guilty of it too. Asking outside of self all the time, human. But I can tell you that the limits the exposure to asking outside of yourself when you're really feeling lost, because it only pick and choose certain instances to really, really do that, because you do not want to get caught up in that stream. Other outside influences are going to cause you to create more stream action, because it's going to get you asking lots more questions. And sometimes question asking is not needed. Sometimes you just need to hit the pause button and allow yourself to just witness everything and not react to it. So this is all about not becoming reactive. In Stephen Covey's world, it would be, being proactive versus reactive. It's basically what he teaches in 7 Habits is proactivity versus reactivity, and making that proactive choice to only pick and choose on certain things, and what you're really wanting to do. What being a proactive person means that you can pull yourself into that witness state enough that you're not constantly reacting to things. You're not getting caught up in that stream of chaos and just reacting, because it's not real. It's all an illusion. And if you're in reactive mode, then you're living in an illusion, and your reality it doesn't even have a chance. You can't feel it. There's no air in reality, because reality is what you make it. And being proactive means that you are pausing, allowing your inner crazy to just float by, and you're not attaching to it. But when you pause and you become proactive about your choices, about the things that you're wanting, that means proactive about attaching to certain thoughts and not attaching to other thoughts. Proactive about the action steps that you take when you do drift off, and what you're going to do next. That's where greatness happens. Greatness happens in the ability to become a proactive person instead of consistently reactive. Don't let your thoughts carry you away. Don't let your emotions carry you away. Feel into it, but feel into it in a proactive fashion instead of a reactive fashion, and get yourself out of the river as much as you possibly can. So, oh, that makes sense. Feel free to message me if for some reason that doesn't make sense. Be prepared that I'll probably give you a book to read, because it's a very, very simple practice. It's a very, very simple thing once you're on the other side of understanding it. Once you've built up that relationship to the witness, it's extremely simple. It's not extremely simple on the front side. It's extremely hard. But well worth every last little second spent developing that connection and learning about your pause button and how to just hit it consistently, because you can consistently hit it. People in my life, I think you can probably see when I hit the pause button, because you can probably see I go, there's a stream, and then all of a sudden there's this and I just don't react, and I start to, and here's what you'll notice is when you hit that pause button, you make that proactive choice to hit the pause button, your face might do stuff, all this different stuff, and you might go, but when you hit that, what you're going to feel is like holding in your heart, almost like this, like you slammed on the brakes in your car really quick to avoid an accident, rear-ending somebody or something. And you slammed on the brakes, and that feeling that you get in your body when you go, ugh, like that, because you're avoiding a collision, you're avoiding an accident. And much like that, that's what the pause button does. It helps you avoid a collision with ego and with making a mistake. So you get the same physical reaction in your body where you're like, oh, and then you just go. Next step is take a breath. Take a breath. Much like if you were just about ready to rear end somebody and you didn't, the next step is just, you gotta let your body drop down, pull some of that tension out of your physical body, and try to relax the muscles that are now in shock, that you almost had an accident. Relax those muscles. So you're going to feel that physically. And then you're going to notice that the monkey mind, the ego, Satan as I refer to it, is going to come in and put on the best show that you've ever witnessed of crazy. And it is just gonna go to work, and it's gonna be this massive inflow of thoughts, and some of them are gonna be really tempting, okay, really, really tempting. They're gonna look like, I want to attach to that, because you're not yet there yet, right? You just slammed on the brakes, But now all of a sudden you have the crazy person coming at you, screaming at you, all this stuff. Do you get out of your car and interact with this crazy person? Or do you remain in your car and take a few good deep breaths and choose what your next step is? Hitting the pause button means that you're remaining in the car, that you're sitting there and you're gaining connection to self. Take a few more deep breaths. Allow yourself to focus in on your heartbeat. Allow yourself to focus in on something, that focus point, okay? Instead of running down the path of, oh my gosh, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to react, I need to react, I need to react, I need to attach to that, I need to attach to that. No, just breathe. Just breathe, you know? And some people on here, I know one particular person can say, yep, she's been preaching that one for forever, because I tell them, it's like my thing, like, just breathe. And that's what I'm meaning by that. If you just take that breath and you'll take another breath, take another breath. The longer you can focus in on your breath, the more strength your pause button will get. And just holding that, like quite literally, just pause. Gain the strength to stand in consciousness instead of going into the unconscious stream of chaos. And that's what you're doing. Because if you allow yourself to enter that stream, you become unconscious to reality. Stay in consciousness. Stay with your breath. Stay present, alert, and see that monkey brained river chaos for what it is. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. So there you go. That's what the lesson of today is. That's what the talk of today is. Pausing for greatness. If you want greatness, develop your pause button. Develop your pause button and do the work for it. It is well worth it. You will move through things quicker. You will not experience the pain and the suffering that you do when you get caught up in that river of unconsciousness. And yeah, just do that. So exercise of today. Notice when you get caught in the river of chaos, okay? When you get caught in that river of chaos and that river of unconsciousness, the only you are successful. So because I know that we're so self-critical. So before I take kids to school, here's this real quick. Know that you are successful know that you are successful when you see that you're in the river. Notice that you are successful when you take a breath and pause from stepping in the river. You are successful when you are in the river and go, oh look, there's my point of focus. I'm going to pull myself out of this shit. Pull yourself out. That's success. Give yourself a pat on the back for every single one of those. Stand in those moments, okay? Stand in those moments with gratitude, appreciation, and love for self, because that's what you need. That helps you build the support system that pause button needs, that your witness needs. Love your witness. Love the pause button. Apply attention there. Give yourself a good pat on the back, even if it takes you 3 hours to get to just realizing that you got caught up in that river. It takes you all day, and at the end of your day, you're sitting there and you're like, oh my God, I totally spent the whole day in the river of chaos. Pat yourself on the back. Pat yourself on the back because you noticed, because you actually caught yourself. Maybe it took all day, that's fine. Better, it only took a whole day instead of 2 years. Okay? So give yourself the recognition deserved that you noticed. And the more you notice, the more you're going to be able to catch yourself. The easier it will be. It's in the noticing, okay? It's just in the noticing. Very simple practice. Just notice. Just notice. And then make a different choice. Notice and then make a different choice, okay? So I hope that this was helpful. I love you guys. As always, if you find it in your heart, share this conscious coffee or your favorite one, whichever one. I'm going to be doing some announcements later on Facebook Live today as well. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I want to talk about, so you're going to see me off and on throughout the day. Got a lot of stuff going on today, but go out there, have a conscious day, enjoy yourselves, find your joy, find your bliss, find your orgasm, and go live a conscious life. Okay, love you. Share it, and I will catch you tomorrow around